Morning, people. Yeah, I got some bad news last night, man. Within 2 hours of me finding out about Keith, he was dead. You know, fucking wounded. You know, last night in Blanchardstown, my cousin passed away. I made a short at about 20 to 6, and I said to me missus, he'd be gone by 6:45. I got a phone call at 25 to 7 to say he passed away at 6:30 last night. You know, everybody knows him, Keith Fitzpatrick from Clondalkin, so I'd like to dedicate this live to me cousin. I'm not going to play no music, fuck. But yeah, last night, all his brothers, there was about 70 of me family members up at the hospital in Blanchardstown last night. You know, he said yesterday, like, he's been in 3 months. You know, and we found out last night he passed away with all his family around him. You know, I was sent a photograph of him when he took his last breath, and I wish I didn't look at it. You know, but you can't outrun cancer. You know, they tried radiotherapy, they tried chemo, it didn't work. You know, he's only 44, the same age as my little brother, you know what I mean? So I'm fucking good, right? That's life, isn't it? Cheers, pal. You know the mad thing, Stephen? I got a phone call yesterday from Dublin at about 25 to 6 to say my cousin was given a couple of hours to live to get all the family up to the hospital. Fourth stage, they tried radiotherapy, they tried chemo, nothing worked, and it just got so aggressive, and it was in his bones, and he fought till the end, you know, but he lost the fight last night, bless him. He's only 44, you know, daughters and all, you know. Fucking sad, man. Like, the amount of people that die around me, you know, I woke up yesterday and I swear on my son's life, I was walking down the road and I felt that strange and I said, you know what, someone's gonna die today. And I got a phone call on me, I swear on all my kids' lives, on my dead brother, on my dead mammy and daddy's grave. Yesterday when I was going down the shop, something said to me, someone's gonna die today. How fucked is that? Life goes on though, you know what I mean? But shout out to Keith Fitzpatrick from Clondalkin, rest in peace to your cousin. I couldn't do a live last night because I knew I was going to get a phone call within an hour. I wanted to dive on Francie's live last night, but I couldn't. I'll be honest with you, he had 4th stage cancer, you know, and apparently it got into his bones and all. You know, all my family were there last night when he took his breath. It's mad like my morning, John. John, do you know any of the Fitzpatricks from Clondalkin? Do you know Keith? He's got horses. He fucking died last night, bro, in Blanchardstown Hospital, with about 70 of my family members and his friends all around. His daughter's at his bed. You know, they tried radiotherapy, they tried chemo, but it wouldn't work. The cancer was too aggressive. You know, it sped it up if the truth be told. Like when radiotherapy and chemo doesn't work, you know you're fucked. You know. So one of the family was telling me he was on his way up to the corridor. Yeah. They all drinking finches in Clondalkin, John. 5 brothers. Now there's 4. Me other uncle, 2 of me other cousins died in a fire a few years ago. Willie died in a fire. Then Christopher died. You know, like we've lost a lot of people in my family. How are you, Mousy? But I got a phone call last night from Blanchardstown Hospital on my cousin to say that my other cousin was given 2 weeks to or 2 hours to live. Now that's my mammy's sister's son. You know, everybody knows the Fitzpatricks. You know, there's Gay, there's Thomas, there's Alan, there's Keith, there was Keith, and there's Deco as well. Deco Fitzpatrick, Gay, Alan and Thomas, and yesterday Keith died. Well, then you'd know them all. You'd know me uncle that died, John. Christy Knowles. He fell off a bike a few months ago. That's me uncle, bro. You know, a few months ago, you know, I'm fed up losing people. It makes you strong, though. You know, that's the only thing in life you're guaranteed is to die. You know, like, if I'd have been in Dublin, I'd have been up at that hospital last night. You know. But, like I said, it's, you know, I'm heartbroken for them, you know, for the family. I really am. Because people just keep dying, you know. It's like he was in so much fucking pain, you know. Like he had a thing with him all the time, you know, one of them pumps you press to pump more morphine into you. And then he just fell into a sleep and his chest last night. My cousin said she seen him have his first breath. In PC flats a few days ago, machetes and all. No way, bro. Who did a Mousy? Tell me, and I'll give you my opinion. I didn't hear about it, but was he attacked by a certain ethnic minority? Wow. No way. Was it a gang of Muslims or Asian males? A yeah or a no will do. Okay. Bro, man, I tell you, right? You're on the ground and you're getting licked with machetes. What you meant to do? Even if you cover up, your hands are getting it. You know. Shout out to Mousy. There's another Irishman's channel if you're not sub to. Mousy, there's a new lad that's on here and his name is Francie, right? And he hit 50 subs the other day. Fair play to him. He didn't do his live last night because, like I said, my mammy's sister, her son died last night in hospital of cancer. And morning Andrew, and I made a short last night. And within an hour and a half of me making that short, he was dead. You know. Me missus said to me, which one is it? I showed her a picture of him. She said, Jude, I invited him to your 50th, and there was a reason why he didn't come. I remember speaking to him, and he said to me, Jude, I'll be over the second week in November. He never come. You know. One or two of them come over, but he didn't. Like, I didn't know at the time. I don't think he knew at the time. You know. But it is what it is. I knew. Once doctors in Dublin tell you, here, you've got a couple of hours to live, you need to get your family here ASAP. You know. Because he's not got long. Everything is give up. All his organs have stopped working. His body is give up. You see, your mind. Your body gives up before your mind does. You know. But, you know, my brothers will be going to the funeral. You know, they're going to have to go over, you know, like they did the last time in a nice car. You know, I don't know, like I said, it's sad. What do you think? Bro, listen to me, yeah. I'm very patriotic, but I live in the UK. You know, if I lived in Dublin, I'd be in jail. You know, because at the end of the day, I look out the window and I see loads of people attacking one of my lads. You know, and I have a sword in the house. We're going out with it. You know, it's like, because it's very hard to fight with somebody that stood there swinging a machete at you. All it takes is one rap into the face or the head, you know. Dublin isn't safe anymore. You know, it's as bad as Manchester is getting. You know, it's the same over here. There's people getting attacked. Like, if you go in that Piccadilly Gardens, you have gangs of everybody. You've got Muslim gangs. You've got Israeli gangs. You've got black gangs. Morning, Finn. I wish I could say the same, bro. My bleeding cousin died last night in hospital. You know. About 8 o'clock last night, outside Blanchardstown, there was 20 lads, all on horses, that come up to the hospital to show their respect, you know, on sulkies and all, because that's what he does, me cousin. He has horses. Don't worry about it, Finn. It's just one of them things. I made a short last night to say I had a phone call, and within 2 hours of that phone call, he died. So that's why I couldn't do me live last night, because if I'd have been on here having a laugh and joke while my cousin is about to croak. So while I was having a laugh and a joke, my cousin would have croaked. And I knew it, so I said, fuck that. You know, I hope Francie does a live today and fucking, you know what I mean? I was like, I felt a cunt last night because I wanted to go in as live, you know, when he done his first live, but, you know, shit happens sometimes. You know the way in your family you have people that you get along with and some that you don't. In all fairness, no one deserves to die, like, and I shouldn't really say this, but if certain other people in my family had passed away, I wouldn't shed a tear. But you know, this fella, his ma and my ma are sisters. His family was raised the way mine were very similar. All my cousins that live in Clondalkin, all the Fitzes, we're very similar. Me, Mark and Alex, to Gay, Thomas, Alan, Deco. Hang on, Thomas, Alan, Gay, and Deco was left. You know, 5 brothers. Well, listen to me, Finn. Do you know what happened last night? About 20 of his mates come up to Blanchardstown on their horses, on their sulkies, and it wouldn't fucking surprise me if his coffin was put in the back of a fucking carriage or on the back of a fucking horse and cart. You know how they are up in Clondalkin, bro. They love their animals. They love their horses. I've never owned one, but I have family that have a load of them. You know, I have friends that had a load of them when I was growing up. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But it's sad. I'll be honest with you. I was sent a picture last night of him just before he took his last breath, and I got upset. I said to my sister, right, so Mark rang me and told me, and then my sister rang. I knew once I seen my sister phoning me that somebody was dead, because my sister never rings me, you know. So I knew, before I even answered what she was going to say, I knew she was going to say he was dead. She said, did anybody get in touch with you from home? I said, yeah. She said, well, I've just had an update. He's gone, Jude. I was like, I know. I knew that's what she was going to say to me. You know, it's mad. Only a few months ago, I lost an uncle, you know, and yeah, he was supposed to come over, you know, like, I was going to have a game of Dawn with him. You know, we spoke about it because there's no one over here can play it. So we were talking about it just before Christmas. He said, I'll be over and we'll have a game of two-handed Dawn. I'm always listening to you say no one can play Dawn in England. He said, when I come over, we'll have a game of two-handed. And I was looking forward to it, you know. And then I found out 3 months ago he had cancer, and in the last 12 weeks he's been so aggressive, super aggressive. Cancer is well hard. You know, once you have 4th stage here, there's nothing anyone can do. No money in the world can help you. You know, I'm just glad he's not in any pain, you know. Shit happens. You know what I mean? You just have to suck it up. You know, and the thing about this is, he's one of my favourite cousins. Like, I've a fucking big family, and last night there was about 70 of them at the hospital. You know, all around him when he died. All she was short of doing was bringing his horse down the corridor. You're not allowed horses. You know, they show you all over the corridor. He wanted to bring his horse up, and I swear that on me ma, you can't bring horses into hospitals. What's the difference? If someone's dying and they have a dog, they might make an exception, but not a horse with a big langer hanging out, walking up the corridor. But anyway, like I said, anybody that lives in Clondalkin will know this fella. You know, anyone that lives in Ballier who has horses will know this fella. You know, all of them. Like the Fitzpatricks from Clondalkin, there's 5 boys. There was Keith, Deco, Thomas, Alan, and Christopher. 5 brothers, now one's dead. You know, sad. You know, but life goes on, you know what I mean? I'd sooner him not be in pain than be fucking suffering. You know, and I'm thinking about his family, you know. Like, that's me ma's sister, her son, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm wounded for them, I am, you know. Shout out to Australia, how are you, Adam? It's Carrick, you know. Well, like I said, it's part of life. People die, you know. Shout out to Francie. Do you know what? Francie didn't do his live last night because he seen me put a short up to say my cousin had passed away, out of respect. You know what, Francie? You should have done your live last night. You know, I appreciate the gesture. I really do. I said to me missus last night, I can't do a live because I know you watch by 6:45, I bet you he's dead. And she said, don't be saying that, will you not? You know, have faith. Don't talk to me about faith. You don't even believe in God. Right. He'd be dead by 6:45. 7:25, my phone rang. 7:25 last night, my phone rang and I knew. I seen my sister ringing me on Messenger. I knew something was wrong. You know, so it doesn't take a fucking genius to work out what was wrong. You know, like I said, we live and we die. It's part of the human condition, you know what I mean? People die, people get sick. You know, you can't fight cancer. You know, that is one thing you cannot do, is fight that disease. You know, you might outlast it, but you won't outrun it. There's nowhere to run. You know, it already knows where you are. You know, there's nowhere to hide. It knows where you are. You know, and it'll let you know. But his cancer was very aggressive. You know, he had chemo, he had radiotherapy. You know, they were looking for treatments. But it just seemed to get more aggressive progressively every week. I mentioned this 3 months ago, that my cousin was in hospital, right? They give him 3 months to live. 3 months ago, to the fucking day, mate. They were bang on. You know, bang on. I couldn't believe it last night. Like, but once you're given 2 hours to live by the doctors here, you better get everybody to this hospital because he's not going to be here when you all get here. He's going to be dead. You know. You know, my entire family, all my mother's side, there was about 70 of them at the hospital last night. Fucking loads of them. You know, to support each other. You know, he was a good fella, Keith. You know, well known, everyone knew him. You know what I mean? Not a blackguard or anything like that. He kept to himself. You know, he was into horses. You know, that was his thing. You know, buying and selling horses, I think, whatever he did with them. You know, but, yeah, sad. But, if you can do me to be a big favour, guys, our Finn is nearly on 900 subs. Francie Boy 06 is on, he's nearly on 60. And the only way for your channel to grow on YouTube is to ask other people to share people's channel for you. It's not hard to put someone's link in the description. Like, my goal on here is to help a few Irish channels grow, because our community has become a clusterfuck of wankers that call people names that wouldn't stand in front of a man if you paid them. You know, I'm just old fashioned. I have old fashioned values, morals, and principles. You know, but life does go on. But anyway, listen to me. I'm gonna say fuck off. Finn will probably be doing a live, and I know Francie will be doing a live some point today. Shout out to Mr. Andrew. Shout out to Mr. John Dillon. Shout out to Mr. Adam. Shout out to Spartacus. Shout out to Mousy. Shout out to Be Irish. I hope you all have a good. And shout out to Mr. Stephen Moore. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just gonna go and wake up me little man, because I don't know what time he thinks. I don't know what time he thinks this is, but I know one thing. Yeah, it's hammer time. He's getting awake. You know. Do you know what I'll have to watch? Miss fucking Rachel. You know. But like I said, I'll do a live in a little bit, guys. Okay. Thanks for coming in, and Finn will probably be going live soon, and if not Finn, Francie, but go over and support the Irish lads, you know, because like I said, I knew it when I come across Finn that he had the potential to have a great channel, and I was right, I was spot on, and I see the same with Francie, you know what I mean, and he's got two parrots as well, Finn. One called Blossom and one called fucking Cosmo. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the minute, my head is all over the place. It is. I can't even focus. But I will be back to do a live in a little bit, okay? So I hope you all have a fantastic morning, right? And I'll be back in about an hour or two.